Hello, everyone. Hey, today you're in the office with Joseph Skoda. And what's exciting about today is I get to meet different people from all walks of life and even back east, like where I'm from. And today I want to introduce you to Mr. Louis Camassa from the great old state of New York.
That's it, New York, born and bred.
Born and bred. And we're
What's
in
up?
California.
We're in California.
Probably because it's cold in New York and Ohio right now, where I'm from.
It is.
So it's pretty exciting. Now, I met you in Toastmasters. We're in the same club called South County Presenters in Rio Grande, California, on the Central Coast. Not a bad place to live.
Yeah, best place in the world.
Best place in the world. A lot of people come here to vacation. It's pretty exciting. But over the last year, I got to know a little bit about you and your story. So please tell our viewers here what brought you from New York City, right? Or Buffalo?
Well, close. New York.
New
Not
York.
upstate New York. You gotta be careful there.
Right.
You got upstate New York at the city, then you got Long
Oh,
Island.
I know. It's
Long Island boys.
Long Island. It's like California. Oh, you must be from LA. You must be from
No,
San
no.
Fran. We literally live in the middle of San Francisco and Los Angeles.
Central Coast.
About 4 hours either way. And people
Well, 3 if
don't
you drive
realize that.
fast.
I'm still, I did a speed limit. I did the speed limit. So about 4-ish.
Okay.
But what brought you out to this neck of the woods? Tell us a little about your story.
Well, as Joseph said, I grew up in New York and love the energy there, the hustle and bustle, hate the weather. And right now it's a good time to hate the weather in New York. They got snow coming down. They got snow in November. They were totally unprepared for. And I remember going out and in my car, starting it up. And you have to start your car about 30 minutes before you're ready to leave.
Remember that?
Because you got to wait for the windshield, all the ice to break off. You got to wait for the
Get
car
your
to heat
scraper.
up. Get the
Yep.
scraper.
Mhm.
If you're like my grandfather, he plugs the car into the electrical outlet to keep it warm, the engine warm. Things don't freeze up. But you'd be getting in your car, you'd be driving, white knuckle driving, because the roads are so icy and you can't really see where the lines are. You run over curbs, you got to change your tire in the middle of the winter, try to jack it up, and it's sliding all over. So I got tired of that. I got tired of the darkness and came out here to California because it's all sunshine and smiles. And I came out here for a client maybe about 12 years ago now.
Okay.
I was working with him remotely back in the day. I used Craigslist to find him, and we always worked telecommute. He asked me to come out and visit him for about a week, and I said, okay, I'll do that. I'll help you with your local event. So flew out, and as soon as the plane hit the tarmac, fell in love. There was like birds chirping and rainbow, and I got out of San Luis Obispo Airport and just really fell in love with the area. And of course, he gave me the whole horse and pony show, drove me around to farmers market, showed me the beach, showed me some of the great amenities here.
Oh, great place.
After the end of that week, he's like, hey, do you want to move out here? I was like, I don't know. He goes, I got a place right on the beach. You can move right into it. So, all right, I'm sold. So I flew back to New York. I took about a month to get all my everything arranged and everything settled. And then I packed all my stuff into the backseat of my Camaro. And the trunk's like the size of a handbag, so you can't put much in there. And then pedal to the metal. We drove out, and I saw the Delta of the Mississippi. I saw the Painted Desert, the Grand Canyon, and just made an amazing trip of it. And came out here to do what I love, which is marketing technology, brand building, and helping companies connect with customers.
Oh, that's a really great story. And how long did it take you to get from New York to here?
It took about 10 days because I stopped at
Oh,
all
you
these
stopped
spots.
everywhere.
I was doing the speed limit most of the time. I was amazed. Like some places it was 85 miles an hour, and you're just cruising, and there's just nothing for miles. You just see a straight road, and you see the mountains way in the distance. But the diversity of our country is amazing. There's so many different spots we go to and see, and a lot of people go internationally. But just if you stay in this country, there's so much to see, so many great people out there, and so many great sites.
There is. It's funny. I moved here from South Carolina. It took 3.5 days to drive here. The first time when I was by myself, when I went back to get my family, probably 6 or 7 days. It was by myself, 3.5 days. But you're right. The United States has a lot to offer. The Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, like you said, the Sierras, the different places. Check it out, the Rockies. I was there last year visiting.
Amazing. So one of my life missions is visiting all the 60 national parks in our country. So when you look at our country as a whole, we have state parks and we have national parks. The national parks, and there's 60 of them, are amazing. They're the gems of our country. It's what's been coined as America's best ideas. Roosevelt and some of our forefathers went and developed these properties for us to go and visit and to see all of the natural wonders here. So this year we went to, I think we're at 16 different parks this year.
16 already?
We
This
went
year
to
alone?
Yeah, this year alone. I was looking through my notes of this whole year's
Yeah.
travels, and we flew to Florida. We saw 3 there. We
Yeah.
drove cross country from New York to California. We saw about 7 on that trip. California has 9, so we visited a few there that we haven't seen yet.
Sure.
And it's an amazing experience, and it really helps you commune with nature and really recharge from this technology world
Right.
we're living in now.
Sure.
That's all I do. I'm on a computer sitting down all day. You gotta disconnect. You gotta get out there. You gotta explore. And
We have to disconnect. We have to develop those relationships. We have to smell the fresh air.
smell the fresh air.
Smell the fresh air. Now, what kind of business are you in? I know you're in marketing and branding. Is that what you've been doing most of your career?
Most of my career was in marketing technology, and go back maybe 20 years ago,
Yeah.
when the web first came out, the internet first came out, everybody thought it was a fad. I was the one guy that was like, hey, it's not, and let's get your website built. A lot of companies like, no, we don't need a website. I remember one of the first companies that went and pitched. I had a cold call, knock on doors. I went to this cutlery place in Center Reach, New York, right down the road from where I lived, and was trying to pitch them on a website. And I remember going in there, talking to the owners,
Sure.
going through my whole presentation. At the time, we didn't have laptops. I just had to print everything out.
Of course.
25 years ago. So I printed everything out. I showed them how it would look and how they had a website, what it would do. I remember at the end of the conversation, the woman, the owner, she said, I don't need a website. I think that's a fad. People like to come in. They like to feel the knives. They like to look at them. They like to try them out. I said, okay. And I left. And about 2 or 3 years later, that business went out of business because people were buying knives online.
Online.
People, sometimes they want to feel them, but if you look at the ecosystem of online sales right now, people have bought cutlery online. They bought shoes. Zappos proved that wrong.
I have.
They bought clothes.
Pets
They
too.
bought
I'm
pets.
told.
I bought many pets online. They bought cars.
Yeah.
And now online grocery, which a lot of people say can't be done. Instacart, one of the biggest online grocery delivery services, has raised billions of dollars, and they're proving that model. So I think pretty much everything short of getting a haircut or a back massage or some sort of doctor service is going to be online.
Going door to door selling the website.
I was going door to door. I didn't do many of them because it was tough to do.
Of course.
And I like
you were younger.
I was younger.
Right.
I like more the technology side, but I cut my teeth in developing websites on my own. I sold my first account for $500, made him this awesome website. And I remember the first day we launched it, no sales came in. I was all worried, like, oh no, this guy paid me $500, no sales. But then day 2 came, we got 1 sale. Day 3, we got 2 or 3 sales. And then at the end of that month, sales were rolling in and from all over the country. We couldn't even ship to Canada. They were coming in from Canada to figure out how to deal with shipping. So that's where I started, and then I slowly evolved into developing websites for bigger brands.
Right.
Many brands in the sustainable food and beverage market, and did some really good work for them, and then moved into technology development, developing what's called SaaS, software as a service platforms that give people an opportunity to use services online. So think of like a LinkedIn, a Facebook, use MailChimp, those are all SaaS platforms. It's a new business model.
Okay.
Subscription
I know you teach a lot about, LinkedIn, for instance.
Yes.
I know you did a workshop on that a couple weeks ago or something. Now, tell us a little bit about that and what it means to the average person.
Yeah, absolutely. So in today's age, we have more than just direct mail and your typical traditional marketing. So you got TV, radio, direct mail. Those were the traditional marketing methods of years past.
Sure.
Now, the last 20 years, we've seen a real dynamic change in how we market ourselves and our companies. And it's more than just sending out a flyer. It's more than just doing a TV or radio ad. Now we have social media. We have Facebook. We have Instagram. We have LinkedIn. And the power of those social media is really interesting. It's tenuable. There's a lot of interesting points to it in that you can connect with an audience, but they can also connect back.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the first time ever where there's a two-way dialogue in real time.
Feedback.
Some of it's good, some of it's bad.
Some of it is bad.
Some of it is bad. But if you do your job right, you make it right, people appreciate that. In fact, they did a study and they said when people write a bad review on Yelp or any type of review site, TripAdvisor, if you go in and you acknowledge them and apologize, they're likely to change that review and think better of you. So it actually, and they're actually going to be a longer, more loyal customer because of that.
Sure, you interacted, you found a mistake, you said we'll do our best to fix it. Just good customer service.
Good customer service.
Good customer. Now, how can our audience or viewers out there find you?
Yeah, so I'm online. You can go to louiscamassa.com. That's LOUIS. CAM as in Mike, ASSA.com, or you can check out our brand, empathunited.com. That's empathy without the Y, united.com. And of course, you just type in Louis Camassa into Google, you see my LinkedIn, you see my Facebook, you see my Instagram, you see Twitter.
I think you have me blocked.
I probably, well, I don't know about that,
I'll
but
be
you can get access anytime you want.
I know, that's pretty good. Well, I appreciate the information. Tell us the importance about branding, the importance of being persistent, even if you have to knock on the door a few times, and not to expect immediate success. Even with the website, it could take 2, 3, 4 days or even weeks
That's right.
to get something or longer.
Success is a long-term vision, and you always have to start with the first step.
All right. Well, thank you, Lewis. I
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
your time.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you all again. This has been In the Office with Joseph Skoda.
All right. Stay warm.
Have an awesome day. Stay warm. Bye now.
Social media shows
is about
branding, opportunity,
and outreach.
We are an entertainment company that empowers others
by promoting and supporting our community
and everyone who reaches our content.
Here on social media shows,
here we're a family.
We are family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. We are family.
We are family.
We are family. We are family.
We are family.
We are family, and we want you to be part of our social media shows family.
Hello, everyone. Hey, my name is Joseph Skoda, and I'm always looking for different entrepreneurs or movers and shakers in my community who are doing some great things. Now, I have a guest today who I met in Toastmasters, and we're going to talk a little bit about how Toastmasters has helped his life, his leadership, his business, and different things going on. So, hey, Lewis, how you doing?
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Good morning.
Thanks
In
for having
fact,
me here today.
we just came from our Toastmasters meeting this morning, South County presenters in Arroyo Grande, California. Now, you've been with us about a year?
Almost 2.5 years now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And where's time gone?
Wow.
Oh, you're getting better. You're getting better.
Thank you.
Anytime. And you gave a presentation today, and you started with, it's a small world. From Disneyland, Disney World, whichever one it was. It's a small world after all. What does that mean to you?
It's a small world after all. If you think about Disney, you think about what they're about as a company. Their brand is about creating memorable experiences. And that's for the customers that come in. And if you think about it for a parent, parents aren't going there for the rides. They're going there to see their kids have a good time and smile. But the kids are going there for the rides. They're going there for the excitement. Yeah. When I first went to Disney World, my parents, I went with my mom and my grandmother. And I remember waiting online at Disney World, waiting online to It's a Small World. Yeah. And you wait. You finally get on, and here I am, a little kid, 5 years old, and get on this little boat. You put your hands on the wheel, the back bar there on the boat, and you're going through, and it's dark, and you have these little dolls dancing, you have the lights flashing, you have that song playing over and over again.
Over and over.
It's scary for a little kid. But then I remember looking up at my grandma, and I remember the excitement in her eyes and how her eyes lit up. She's looking at all the dancing dolls, she's looking at the lights and the song going, and she's humming along. And that transcended onto me. And I said, wow, this is cool. So I wasn't scared anymore. Now I was in awe of this ride, and I was excited. And it created that highlight reel in my memory. Every time I go on that ride, I think about my grandma, who's no longer with us, but it creates that excitement and that happy emotion that I had seeing her be happy. That is recreated when I go back to that ride.
So that's kind of stories, the memories, the things that keep in our mind and keep us focused on at least a happy time. There's obviously we go ups and downs in our lives, right. So we try to remember the good times.
We try to. It's interesting when you look at brands, you look at companies. They're all about creating experiences for their customers. Yeah. And the best ones, the best brands create those highlight reels in your mind. In fact, that's why when most of us, we go to the grocery store to go shopping, we're on autopilot. Because the brand logo, the identity, that's like a mini checklist in your head. When you're going through the aisles, you're just picking things off, you're putting them in your basket because you associate that brand with the product that meets your expectations.
Sure.
It's like Newman's own dressing,
right.
salad dressing.
Newman,
Been buying that for 10 years now. He's got a logo, a very distinct bottle. I go to the grocery, I just pick that off the shelf, put it in my cart, and I move on every single time. So I know that brand is going to meet my expectations. I'm going to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to continue buying it.
He donates all the proceeds.
And 100%, yeah.
100% is all gone.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a good product and sticks in your mind.
Sticks in your mind. That's right.
That's good. Now, a little bit about Toastmasters and leadership and communication is what we're doing. How has it helped you, or why do you still stay with it 2.5 years later?
Yes.
Tell us your story.
Well, we had an amazing speaker today who really summed it up well for me too, is Toastmasters is a family, and it's about developing relationships. And you look forward to seeing your family and friends, and that's why I keep coming. It's also to develop and improve my speaking abilities, but it's more so to connect with others, to listen from them and hear their stories, because that's how we all learn, is through storytelling. We learn through others' experiences. And if we're smart, we take their experiences and we apply them to our lives, so we don't have to go through some of the same hardships.
Sure.
So I do that to listen, to learn, and I do that to improve. And I think of all the different programs I've taken, Toastmasters has been one of the most effective in multiple areas of my life. I remember I didn't want to go to mixers. I didn't want to get out there and do some networking, like physical networking. I just didn't like it, but Toastmasters gave me the confidence to do that. Next up, cold calling. I hate cold calling. I have to pick up a phone. You have to call somebody you don't know. I got a knot in my stomach and I start sweating profusely, and I'm so scared. But Toastmasters gave me the power to go out there and call people. And I've gotten so far out of my shell the last 1.5 years, 2 years I've been here. And a lot of that's come down to others that have inspired me, others that are cold calling 100 people a day. I'm like, well, if he can do 100, I can do 5 or 10.
Right. Why not?
That's why I keep coming.
It's funny. I talk about it every now and then. It took me 12 years to get my 2-year associate's degree because I was afraid of speaking in public.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. I was always nervous and shaking. Would make up excuses why I couldn't go, and I wouldn't take the class. And today, I speak 2, 3, 4 times a week, sometimes in the clubs, sometimes outside the clubs, but all because of training. And like you said, the relationships that we're building when you hear other people's stories.
Yes.
Saying, we think we have it bad sometimes, and hearing someone else. And we heard some stories today.
We heard some stories.
Yeah, and realize, regardless of where we are today, we all had to start somewhere.
That's right.
And it just made us bigger and better people. So you're saying it helped you, obviously, a better communicator. What were the leadership?
Leadership is a really challenging area for me, because leadership is more than just giving people orders and watching them follow through.
There is?
I didn't know that.
Okay.
So up until maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I thought, hey, you're going to do what I say. I'm the leader. I'm the manager. I'm the boss.
Yeah.
And that's not a good way to live. And that old GE Jack Welch model of, hey, let's push it downhill. I mean, that's going by the wayside now. And leaders today lead with empathy. They lead with compassion. They lead with understanding. I mean, you can go and you can look at some of the biggest brands out there, like Uber, for instance, and look at their toxic culture. I mean, they ousted their CEO and founder because of that toxic culture he set up, and they're still trying to patch that up, and they're still having challenges. And you can look at some really innovative companies that have amazing culture, and the reason for that is they care for their team.
Sure.
And they show leadership skills by doing and by empathizing and by training and supporting. So it's not about just giving somebody directions and having them do it. It's about helping them uncover what they're best at and giving them the support and tools they need to achieve their objectives.
Achieve their objectives. And you do that, like you say, mostly with empathy.
I do that with empathy. I try my best, and I'm probably the best guy because I'm from New York. I'm brash. I'm a little abrupt, and
Right.
I've had a lot of challenges, and I've overcome a lot of situations. And we had a really challenging time maybe 7 or 8 years ago where I was coming across to somebody in a very negative way. I didn't know it, and he had asked for my removal from the company, and he had gotten a few other employees involved, and they tried to go around me and to my CEO and try to get me removed from my position. And it wasn't until I learned of that I knew I had a problem. And I knew, I'm not interacting with people properly. And that's what led me to a lot of self-help, a lot of self-development, and got counselors and coaches. And I learned that I need to better relate with others. I need to be more empathetic, and I need to make sure that I'm not putting my visions, my achievements, and my goals onto others because they have their own lives.
That's right.
And that's what a lot of us forget is we have our own skills, we have our own experiences, we have our own goals, but those aren't somebody else's.
Right.
And you can't expect to put them into yours. And that's where I had a lot of trouble. And recently, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, I've gotten just night and day difference in understanding, relating, and really being able to lead others. And I'm really excited to say that some of my guys that have been with me 5 or 6 years have moved on to different companies because everyone evolves and grows. And some are working at Amazon, some are out of bigger companies and gotten some amazing jobs. And I think that's a lot to do to that change that I made to help support them and grow in areas that they feel they could be most impactful.
That is huge because we have our own visions and goals. But
Right.
as we learn self-development, as we help other people accomplish their goals and vision, ours usually follows shortly behind.
Exactly.
So what's that saying? People don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care.
Yeah, that's right.
It all fits in. That's so true. That's so realistic. And that's all of us. No one cares. I have so many degrees and no one cares. I stopped caring and stopped talking about it because no one cares. I want to know what am I going to do for them or why am I here? Why are you speaking to me? What makes you think you're a leader? And you ever get that question? Anyone questions your leadership or what makes you think? Because you're still a fairly young guy.
Yeah.
Roughly about 30.
Pushing 40.
Yeah, something like that.
on the older side. Yeah. So leadership it's a very sensitive subject because people don't want to follow. I mean, people want direction and they want support, but they don't necessarily want to be told what to do. So as a leader, it's about being able to guide people, direct them, and all things that go wrong are your fault. All things that go right are your team's fault. That's their success.
Right.
So the leader always takes the faults and always gives the success to his team.
Have to.
When you have challenges with leadership, it's usually because either somebody maybe needs that more direction or they're not seeing eye to eye and there's a little bit of friction. And those are very difficult situations to handle. Somebody has to give up. Somebody has to say, hey, you know what? We're not seeing eye to eye. There's not a connection here.
Sure.
And I've had multiple cases where, in fact, the last maybe 3 years ago, I was brought into a position and the leader that was there, we didn't get along. We didn't see eye to eye. And I was trying to be empathetic. I was trying to care and trying to really develop that relationship. But there were just things that just weren't getting done properly. And we couldn't figure out how to get them done properly. So that's where leadership struggles, and there's ways where you can work through that with that person if they're open to it. If they're not open to it, then sometimes they have to find a different position in the company, or they have to give somebody else the role and hand over the reins. It's a very sensitive subject, and there's no silver bullet to solving it.
Well, actually, no, that's a good thing you brought up. That's a good point, part of leadership, and just finding the right roles or positions for people. We get the smartest person, but they don't necessarily have to be our assistant.
That's right.
See them day to day. You put them where they're comfortable, and that's hard to do as a leader. Especially you don't want all the talent right around you.
Exactly.
But sometimes you're smothering them or vice versa, and the friction like you talked about, and it's important to let them grow.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I appreciate that talking. So Toastmasters helped a little bit, at least get you your confidence picking up the phone and be able to communicate with others. It's helped me in leadership roles that I'm involved in now.
It's an amazing resource, I think, for anyone that's trying to improve themselves. It doesn't even have to do with public speaking. I mean, public speaking is a small part of this Toastmasters organization. It's more about articulating your stories, connecting with others, and figuring out how you can inspire and motivate your audience. And that obviously comes down to public speaking, but more so comes down to your experiences and your stories and how you tell them. And that could be in written format too. In fact, I hired a content coach that's helped me write all my stories, and just recently got published in Forbes, which was pretty cool my first time. Yeah, awesome. Pretty excited about that. And wow. I also just got voted the top 33 digital marketers to follow in 2019. So a lot of that came back to Toastmasters and helping me articulate my story and share my experiences and help inspire others.
Wow, that's a great story. And thank you for your story.
Absolutely.
And me too, the things we're learning. So, Lou, gonna cut it off right here, but I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing more of you in the different things, projects you're involved with.
Thanks a lot, Joseph.
Take care, big guy.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Social media shows
is about
branding, opportunity,
and outreach.
We are an entertainment company that empowers others
by promoting and supporting our community
and everyone who reaches our content.
Here on social media shows,
Here we're a family.
We are family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. We are family.
We are family.
We are family. We are family.
We are family.
We are family, and we want you to be part of our social media shows family.